Okay, perfect. Welcome, welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today for CreateHER Fest, Build and Ship a Capsule Wardrobe app with AI Assist. You'll be joining us today. We actually are here with Jasmine, and I'm going to pass it along. If you don't already know me, my name is Adrienne Guy. I'm the co-founder of CreateHER Fest, and we're really excited to jump into this amazing AI Assist workshop today with Jasmine. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on to you for your intro.
Thank you, Adrienne. Welcome, everybody. Hope you all are staying warm as possible. Thank you for joining this workshop. My name is Jasmine Greenaway. I work in developer relations at Microsoft. I've been doing that for 8 years. I actually specifically support our data communities, so I focus specifically on databases. But outside of my role at Microsoft, I also am a part-time educator. I teach computer science at Medgar Evers College here in Brooklyn, New York. So I teach in the CUNY system, and I think it brings me a lot of joy to teach there, especially in a community or a college that has so much history behind it, especially on a month like Black History Month, and be able to be here and share my love for technology with you all. So in addition to that, I have decided to expand my teaching outside of outside of academia with Takeoff TechWorks. It's kind of like my little studio for teaching and building and showing others how to be successful with tech. So not only coding, but right now I'm working on a series on just how to use like keyboard shortcuts. That's one thing that I've actually noticed, that a lot of new programmers who are trying to build something, maybe not as they might not be as familiar with it. So little things like that, where I'm noticing that where we have little gaps in our knowledge that we sometimes don't think about, but they kind of come second nature to folks who might be in the industry for a while. So that's what Takeoff TechWorks is all about. So I'm super excited to present to you some tips and tricks with GitHub Copilot today. So today we're going to build a real app together. We're going to build a little capsule wardrobe organizer, and we're going to do this incrementally while using Copilot Chat. And I'll talk a little bit about what GitHub Copilot is, because it really is actually a suite of products now. And not only is it an extension, but then we'll talk a little bit about just getting set up. As Adrienne mentioned, that you'll need a GitHub account, so just be sure that you're registered and you have one ready to go. And then we'll go into our first exercise, which will be with prompting. We'll kind of set the foundation of our project, and then we will look into refactoring, so essentially refining our solution, and then finally we'll look into debugging, so fixing issues, fixing errors, and all the while we'll be kind of learning all the different modes and features within GitHub Copilot that we'll use. And then we'll also do wrap up and some Q&A. Okay, so GitHub Copilot is a AI-powered coding assistant, but it's so much more than that. Like I said, it's a suite of tools. So this set of tools that I have on the right side here actually are not even everything that's in GitHub Copilot these days. When it launched a few years ago, I can't even remember when it launched, like what, 2023, 2020? Yeah, I think 2023. It was just
Hey,
GitHub
Jasmine,
Copilot
just jumping
Chat.
in here. Let's try and reshare your screen really quick, and I'll confirm when we can all see it.
Sure. Let me share my screen, and thank you for letting me know. Let's see.
Of course.
Let's see if this works now.
Oh, and wonderful. You're golden. Perfect.
Okay, wonderful. Whoa, thank you. Thank you for letting me know. So, GitHub Copilot is a suite of tools. So when it first came out in 2023, it was this chat experience that you could use in Visual Studio Code in your IDE, and it's exploded into these set of powerful tools. So like I said, we'll talk about GitHub Copilot Chat. That's what we'll be using primarily today. But GitHub Copilot CLI and SDK just came out. So GitHub Copilot command line interface. So essentially, you can create agents and things in the terminal. You can also automate some of your custom build your own Copilot workflows with the SDK, and coding agent and GitHub Spark. So let's go a little bit more detail on kind of what these do. Okay, so the first one that we'll talk through is Copilot Chat. So Copilot Chat is really your pair programmer, AI pair programmer in your extension, or sorry, in your IDE, your development environment. Not only is it available for VS Code, it's also available for JetBrains, and I think a few others that are not coming to mind. But Copilot actually is available also in Visual Studio as well. So think things like code suggestions. So fixing things. Maybe you have some code that you're looking at that you didn't author, but you have some questions about it, and you want to learn a little bit more about it. You can ask it to explain stuff to you. Generate code, so things from unit tests to new features, and also generic questions about just software development, or even software development strategies. And then another thing that Copilot can do is answer questions about code or issues in a repository, which can be really nice for automating the software development workflows. And that kind of leads me into the next thing, is the coding agent. And so this is a thing that you would use to like delegate tasks that to fix bugs, and improve test coverage, documentation. So things that like you kind of set it and forget it. So you tell the agent what you want it to do, and then you can come back and review its PR, its pull request, and merge it in or make changes. Also, the coding agent allows you to, your coding agent also can be a code review agent, which is really nice. So if you want like, set another set of eyes on your code that you're trying to merge, coding agent can also help you there. Copilot CLI, this again allows you to automate your agents in a command line interface. This can be really nice for those who like the terminal experience. And there's a lot of cool stuff that people are doing with it these days. Definitely just do a quick search of Copilot CLI. You can see all the awesome demos that are coming out. And then GitHub Spark, which is also a really cool product that allows you to create an app from scratch with natural language. So essentially, you dream it, you write it down, you tell Spark what you want, and then you can continue to iterate over it in this really nice UI-based tool. Now, one question that folks might be curious is like, well, if I can create apps in Spark, why can I just do that in Copilot Chat? And the answer is 100%, 1000% yes. GitHub Spark is if you are looking for a little bit more of a hands-off, or not needing to go into the internals or weeds of the experience. And if you are unopinionated on the platform. So right now, GitHub Spark builds in TypeScript at the moment. It uses the React framework, and TypeScript to build apps. So let me just show you a little bit of kind of what they look like. So first here is,
to use the new agent mode in Copilot, select agent from the dropdown in the
GitHub
Copilot
Copilot Chat.
In this case, we're asking for a model design using Tailwind. It notices that Tailwind is not installed or configured, so it gives us the command to do that, which we can execute the terminal.
Person is
It
doing
will now wait for this
iteratively,
terminal command to complete,
just
and
bit by bit.
when the terminal command is finished, it notices
This
and then
app
moves on
or this
implementing the design.
chat
It's going to have
is
to work
in
across files to
agent
do
mode,
this.
so
it
it's
starts with the
actually
layout,
building
then
out
moves next
the app
to the main
for
index page for the
them
application.
with
Once it gets
their
finished updating
approval.
the index page, it then needs to move to the video analyzer component here, and
That's,
then
there's a bunch
lastly,
of different
it checks
modes
itself
that
for
you
errors.
can
It sees that
leverage
there are no
under the
errors.
agent
Great, so we're good to
to
test. Let's
build
try this
stuff
out.
out.
This application uses AI to
The
analyze
other
YouTube video
one
transcripts.
here is
Nice. This is looking really good.
This is the coding agent. So this is what we're looking at here is a pull request where we are building, where we're asking Copilot to code review the pull request. And let's see, and I see that the video doesn't have any audio. I'm just kind of speaking over it. I think I just saw a comment here about audio. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, so the video had just a little bit of audio in the background, and it was actually speaking really quickly and kind of giving you an overview of like what the actual tool was while you were speaking. So if you wouldn't mind just backing up just a little bit and then letting us hear what you were sharing too, because we definitely want to know what you said.
Oh, thank you. I didn't realize that it was picking up audio. Oh, that's interesting. Okay. All right. Well, so essentially what the demo was showing was this person was building a YouTube video analyzer from scratch. And what they were building it iteratively. So essentially they gave Copilot a prompt in agent mode, and what agent mode allows you to do is autonomously build your app as well. And we'll look at the different modes that are available as well. There's other ones such as edit and plan mode that we'll take a look at, and ask mode. So it can be a really great experience for you if you're trying to either build from scratch or improve on something that you already have. And then another thing that's also really great about Copilot Chat is that it comes with additional extensions. So think and actually other features. So think like MCP. It's not in this version that was in this video, but you can leverage MCP servers. You can also add in Copilot extensions. So there are particular providers that have extensions. So for example, if you are a Postgres fan, there's a Postgres extension that allows you to essentially use your database that you have created, if you haven't created one already, to build an app around this backend that you have around your data. So things like that. Another thing here is the coding agent. This allows you to essentially add an additional code reviewer onto your code, or give it some instructions on a repository and then come back and review it later. I'll show you a little bit of what that looks like shortly here. And then this is the Copilot CLI. This is quite new. And again, this allows you to, work on code from your terminal or create even automated agents. Also kind of same concept with the Copilot SDK, same idea. You just do that programmatically. And I'm pretty sure you could use Copilot to work on the Copilot SDK. And then finally, GitHub Spark. This is just a little demo here. I don't know if this also has audio on it, but essentially you can use GitHub Spark. You can see like the UI is a little different from VS Code. It's very, I would say like just very targeted on the goal that it's trying to help you achieve. That's really the main difference between Copilot and Copilot Chat and Spark. Okay, so some key points just to cover. So Misty, to answer your question, it is not only front end, it does actually allow you to set up some back end configuration. I don't know if it's new, and I haven't tried Spark recently, but that's a great point. I think now you're able to do things like add like backend and things like that. But we can search and I can search here and see and double check. I don't want to give you any wrong information. So GitHub Copilot Chat. So here's some key points. We can, and you've probably heard this quite often, we have all these assistive technologies to help us build apps. And the main thing with GitHub Copilot is that it's supposed to be an accessory to your development process, not just a replacement. So you want to double check and make sure that whatever Copilot is generating for you, especially when you're in something like agent mode, that you want to just double check and verify what it's done before you deploy it anywhere or anything like that. Another thing that I would recommend is that you could consider starting with like a foundation. So if you have like maybe any templates of like for like starter code that you have for any apps that you might be building in the future, it's also a really great starting point to just start with some kind of like a base app and then build on that as well. In addition to that, context and good prompts are key. So essentially being clear about what you want to build and how you want Copilot to build it. And there are additional things that you can add in that, additional features. So you can add instructions to Copilot to give it guardrails and how it should build, or you can just do it directly in the chat. You can also feed Copilot additional context. So like I mentioned, like you can feed Copilot your database, but also any additional files that you think might be helpful in it creating your app. So for example, say that you have a JSON file with some values and you want Copilot to build this app around this data, it can do that for you. Also, Copilot chat commands are also they come in handy. So you don't have to leverage the chat all the time. So say that you have like just a quick fix that you want to do in line, the chat commands are really great. And then finally, using modes to your advantage. There's three modes that I'll show you shortly here, but they all kind of have their place in Copilot chat. So with that, let's get building. I am going to walk through some environment setup, and I'll give you all a few moments to get set up on your end. And then we'll get into prompting, and again, give you some moments to try it out on your own. Same thing with refactoring, debugging, and then we will wrap up. Before I continue on, does anybody have any questions?
Feel free to drop them in the chat if you do. And I'll definitely share them. I think we're looking good.
Okay, great. So what we'll do to get set up is, of course, make sure you have your GitHub account ready and you're logged into that. And then you want to visit the starter repository or the starter document. So when you go there, you will, let me open this up here real quickly. Let me just exit out of my presentation and hop into what you should see next here. And I don't think you all, are you all still seeing my slide?
Yes, we are still seeing your screen. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. Let me just swap to something else. Let me just swap to okay, here we go. All right. So here we are in the walkthrough, and one of the first things you'll see is this link to the starter code, and this will take you to this repository here. So what we'll be building is this Capsule wardrobe app with Python Streamlit. And Streamlit is a really, really cool library. Has anybody used it? Any Python fans? Anybody used Streamlit or created web apps with Python? Yeah. So you might have probably used maybe Django or Flask or something like that. And Streamlit is a little similar. It allows you to essentially use pure Python to create a front end. Okay, so what you'll do is you can either fork this repository or you can create a new repository from this template. But what you'll essentially do is open it up in a code space. So I'll just walk through doing that here. I'm just going to open it directly here in my code space here. And I'm on a free GitHub account right now I'm on my free account, so that you can kind of see the same experience that I have if you are also using a GitHub free account. GitHub Copilot is free. It does have a free tier, and it allows you a certain amount of prompts and things like that, and it should be sufficient for something small like a hackathon, as well as being able to for this, as well as like a hackathon entry and things like that. Let me zoom in here a little bit more so you all can see. Okay, let's see, this should be a little better. Okay, perfect. All right, so my code space is getting built right now. What my code space will have in it is actually, I'll have some extensions installed. So I'll have the GitHub Copilot extension installed. I also will have the Python extension. This is really great for linting and debugging your Python code, and a few other extensions that I'm not recalling, but these are all just going to help you get familiar with your development environment. Okay, so while this is, okay, so I am loaded here. And so we're just going to go ahead and hop right into GitHub Copilot here. Okay, so here in the chat window, you can see that there's I can add a bunch of different different chats and new chats. I can pop it out of the window. I can add agents. But what I'm going to do, and here's the thing where I can add my agent instructions, so that if I wanted to have some guardrails or some specific instructions every time I build, I can do that. But here are the different modes that I was mentioning before. Agent is mostly for, of course, autonomous building. What you'll normally do is that you'll give it instructions, and then it'll execute those instructions, and you can like kind of keep the changes that it makes. So it'll make new files, change existing files. Ask mode is if you want to ask specific questions about your code base or about software engineering in general. And the edit mode is kind of similar to agent mode, where you where it also allows you to make edits to your code. Either way, I think either of those will work really well for you. There's another one here that's not on the list, but I can show you a little document here. But is the other one is plan mode, and plan mode is really nice because you can kind of give it a detailed list of, or again, keep it your detailed prompt, and then it'll kind of give you a incremental list of things that it's going to do. Okay, you see plan load on yours. Okay, so plan mode might not be rolled out to me. Oh, there it is. There I am. Okay. And so plan mode will tell you what it's going to do, and then it's going to ask you permission to do those things incrementally, and so that you can kind of come in and intercept when you need to. I think plan mode is kind of the future now. I think when we're thinking about checking for validating for code, or validating for a really big feature, or even building something from scratch, and kind of thinking as a developer, right? When we're building up something, we think about what's the first step, what's the last step, and thinking about what's in between that. So the idea of I don't know if y'all are familiar with the concept of pseudocode, where you kind of list out the steps that should be happening in your code. So that's what is very reminiscent for me when I think about plan mode in Copilot. Okay, so one other thing I wanted to show you is additional features or additional Copilot items in the suite. So before I continue on into the next step here, I want to show you what I mean. So my Streamlit starter actually was developed in combination with GitHub Copilot. So I'm going to show you some closed, a closed PR that I have here. Is there an agent model that I prefer? Oh, yeah, I see a couple questions here. So can you define the tech stack for the agent to use for your project, or does it decide on its based on its requirements? So you can define, yes, you can define the stack. And then Spark is where you really, you don't have as much leeway there. But yes, you can define the stack, and it'll also like pick up the context of what you have already. So say that you maybe have a requirements txt file, it's going to assume that you're going to want to build whatever you're trying to build in Python if you don't already say that. Is there an agent model that I prefer? I personally have been enjoying the Claude Sonnet 4.5, I think it is. Let me just look it up here. Let me see. Oh, I actually have it here in my personal, on my GitHub. So here, I'm just opening up my VS Code browser. Cloud Opus 4.5. I've been really enjoying that. I also was, a big fan of GPT 4.1. And yeah, I think, you can't go wrong with any, but those are the ones that I've kind of been stuck to lately. I guess I am also a Claudette. I've been having a lot of fun with it. So it's funny though, because I for any like prompts or any like non-coding things, I still kind of rely on ChatGPT. I feel like it's just, I've used it so much and I've already invested so much time into it, that's kind of where my focus has been. But Claude's awesome. So this is this is a PR that GitHub Copilot actually created. So I kind of gave it instructions. Let me see if it has the prompt here. Yes. So I have some prompts here, and when I created my new repository, it had like a little box that says like, oh, give Copilot custom instructions, and it'll create a PR for you with its edits. And so that's what I did. I just kind of I created the repository, I gave it some prompts, and then I just kind of iterated over it until I felt happy, and then it created PR. I reviewed it, and I merged. And then I came in and made my personal edits. So yeah, this is also available on that same template repository, so you can like also look at the pull request in detail if you're interested. Okay, so hopping back into here, there's a couple things that we just want to just verify and make sure that is working properly. So let's go ahead and check that our app.py file is working fine. So we will write Streamlit. So make sure that's installed. Oh, before I even do that, I need to create my environment. So let me go ahead and do that. So opening up the command palette, I do that with Control-Shift-P. And I'm going to go to the Python extension, and I'm going to create an environment. And then I will just use, I'll use Python 13.5. And then I'll install my dependencies and let that do its thing. And okay, let's see. Error while creating virtual environments. Let's see what happened here. Okay, let's try this environment here. Let's see if that works. Okay. All right, my environment is now activated. Okay, great. Okay, so my environment's good. Streamlit seems to be working fine. let's see. Question on where I went on to open to create my development environment or my virtual environment. Here, let me. Yeah, I'll go over it again. Sorry, my cat. Excuse me. Okay. So I opened the command palette. You can get to it from either is it view command palette, or you can do Control-Shift-P. And if you type environment in the command palette, you'll see a create environment option here. If you click on that, select VENV, and then I already have my environment. Yours just say probably something like create new, something like that. And then you pick your Python version, and then you should be all set. And then at that point, if you want to verify that your environment is activated, go ahead and create a new terminal by just going down into your terminal. You can also open it by control. I don't know what the character is called, the apostrophe tick on the top left of your keyboard to open and close the terminal. But you can also just go ahead and create a new terminal there with Control-Shift-C as well. Okay, great. All right, so now we are here in, so we're all set, and we already installed our requirements, and now we don't need to configure any environment variables. So we're just gonna go ahead and run our Streamlit app. So let me go ahead and do Streamlit run app.py. And then you should see that it's opening. So let's go ahead and open that in the browser. Okay, so we have this really very basic app, very just basic starter app. And this is kind of like the interface and the view that you'll see for the app that we're going to build out. Okay. Do we need a moment to catch up to see if you also can test out and make sure that you can successfully run the starter app in the environment?
Yes, let's get some thumbs up and the reactions, or some give me a second or we're good to go in the chat to let us know if we're good to move on, or if you guys have any questions and need a little support getting to this step. I did throw, awesome, I'm getting it. So someone is getting the message, the site can't be reached.
For Batul, would you mind giving me a little bit more detail? Is this when you run the app? Okay. Yes. Okay, so the site can't be reached. Let's see why. Let's see. You know what? Let's try and ask. I haven't come across this issue, but I'm gonna go ahead and ask GitHub Copilot and see what it has to say. So when I launch the app, it says this site can't be reached. The browser. Right now I'm in auto for my models, but you can see I can pick some different ones here. I'm just gonna leave it on auto, let it decide. And so now GitHub Copilot is kind of checking. It's looking at just my entire code base here. Also, let me just double check. One thing you also might want to try is to check to open the network URL link, because the external URL link does not seem to work. At least it doesn't work for me. So you can try the first one if you haven't done that already. Let's see. Let's see what Copilot is saying here. Let's see, these are some suggestions here. I don't know if I agree. I think it's trying to give me some suggestions, even though everything's okay on my end. But tool, let us know if you're still running into issues. Yes, you can also try hopping into okay. Yeah, if thanks for letting us know. The network link isn't working. Okay. And it's saying, Yeah, that's a yeah, I'm sorry you're running into that issue. Another thing that you could try is doing it locally on your machine to see if that or cloning it to your machine if that's an option for you, to see if that'll help. But I'm not sure if I'm not sure how to troubleshoot that network link issue at the moment. But let us know how things are going and if you need help. And remember that you can always try GitHub Copilot as well. Okay, so does anybody need a little bit more time? Just let me know with a reaction or just in the chat.
Yes, if we can get thumbs up for those who were able to successfully get through this step, awesome, just to get some verification. And then for anyone who needs a little support troubleshooting, please do join our Discord, and then maybe we can take some time after the workshop and then also troubleshoot together. I am getting some thumbs up, and that is great. I think we may be at a good space to kind of keep moving. And then if we have time at the end, let's circle back and then do some group troubleshooting.
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so our app is looking, app is running, but we are not going to use this app. We're actually going to create our own. So first things first, we're just going to go ahead and delete all this. We're going to go ahead and delete it and start from scratch. So excuse me. Now, one of the first things you'll notice here is that when you have when you have like a blank page, it starts asking things like if you want to generate code, select a language, start typing to them, dismiss or don't show us again. This actually, some of this is actually where you can kind of start using Copilot. So say that I want to do something like create a function that adds 2 numbers. And then it'll kind of go ahead and start making suggestions. And the way that I'm adding the code to this app is that you can kind of see that it's kind of like faded here. And if I hit tab, then it'll start generating, or it'll accept the changes that it's proposing. So that's really nice if you have like a really quick fix or a quick thing that you want to do. So you write your comments, and then GitHub Copilot will follow accordingly. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about these modes here. So I'm going to open up my notes on the side here so that I also make sure that I'm also following through the workshop instructions as well. Okay, so let me open that up. Okay. All right, so in the workshop, I also give you a couple of quick reference items as well. So if you need to make changes, quick changes, and some things I kind of already covered as well. Let me just open this up in a new tab here so you can see. So yeah, so some quick keyboard shortcuts. So again, accepting suggestions, you can do that with tab, escape if you don't want them. And then Inline Copilot Chat. This is really nice because you can just edit. You can write prompts directly in the editor without having to go to the chat. And these are these little the modes that I was talking about. And I also see that this table is broken, but these are some additional things that you can do. So some commands that you can leverage are explain to explain some code, fix to fix any bugs, refactor, change the code structure for better readability, and then generate unit tests. And then you can use ampersand and workspace to make sure that Copilot is referencing your entire project and taking a look at everything in your project. And that's important because I was mentioning earlier that context is really key. So when you're building an app, usually there's a lot of moving parts. It's like there's a lot of dependencies, and so it's nice to include your entire project so that GitHub Copilot has a full context and not building kind of an isolated silo. Okay, so first thing we're gonna do. Okay, it's live for you. Okay, thank you for updating Batul. So just had to terminate a process on port 8501 if anyone else is running into that issue. Okay, so here in ask mode, we're just gonna step through here. So I'm gonna open the chat panel and switch to ask mode, and I'm gonna ask these, and I'm just gonna paste these prompts here. So I'm gonna hop here into ask mode. I'm actually going to go ahead and create a new chat. And then I'm going to go ahead and right click and paste in here. Allow. And ask, let's move to ask. And so just to kind of read this out loud, I want to build a Streamlit app for Capsule wardrobe organizers with a multi-image uploader, categories for top, bottom, shoes, thumb grid, display, random output generator, and it saves to JSON. And then it's going to ask me, and then I ask also what good file structures and what libraries do I need, and then that's it. So let's see. I also see that I have I pasted this twice. Okay, let's see. Okay, there we go. So let's go ahead and hit ask mode and see what GitHub Copilot comes up with. So here it is. Kind of give me the recommended file structure, giving me the recommended libraries. And then also giving me a strategy, kind of similar to what you would see in plan mode, of kind of the image uploader, categories, random outfit, and then implementing saving favorites last. So that's really nice. So let's go ahead and hop in to our next thing here. Okay. So make sure that I'm still seeing everybody in the chat. Okay. Okay, wonderful. Okay. All right, so I need to push this window away so I can see what I'm doing in GitHub Copilot. Okay, so That's great. So we have some information on kind of where we can want to get started, and we can continue on to our next step. Now, ask mode, like I said, is really great for asking general questions. It can also generate code for you to give you some starter code as well, so you can copy and paste and kind of this. And ask mode's really nice for that, so you can kind of like pick apart like kind of what you want from what GitHub answered with or Copilot answer with, and then go ahead and build out from there. But agent mode is also a really great way for you to automatically kind of build out your app. So I'm actually going to go ahead and copy this prompt here. And we're going to go ahead and go back into my app, and we're going to swap to agent mode. And we're going to go ahead and paste. And so again, create a Streamlit wardrobe organizer app with app.py as the main file. And all the other things that we mentioned before. And we're going to start with imports, configuration, and helper functions only. So we'll go ahead and do that. And yes. Yes, thank you. The workshop steps, I'm following them verbatim from that walkthrough. Okay, so now our app is has been created, or has started to be created, and you can see that I have these this in my UI. I have all these points where GitHub Copilot did some work for me. So we can see my imports are up here. It also did some really nice commenting for me. And I can kind of cycle through all the changes here as well if I wanted to. So what it did for me so far is that it it updated my requirements.txt file. It created a favorite JSON file. It also created a folder for me to upload my images. And it also handled some session state stuff for me. So I can store I can store my wardrobe. I can list some of my favorite combinations or save my favorite combinations, and then see anything that was added new, and then also added some functions for me. So I am happy with all of this. I'm happy with all the changes. So I'm going to go ahead and click keep, and then also you can see down here a summary of everything that got changed. Okay, so let's so kind of going to the end here. This app loads existing data on startup and is ready for UI components. So let's go ahead and see if it's running. See what happens if I run it now. Let me know if you got any other, if you got another answer or another answer from Copilot. Okay, so let's see. Let's open this up and let's see what happens so far. Okay. Okay, so nothing so far. It's kind of expected. It's nothing. All we really did, we didn't ask Copilot for a specific UI or anything like that. We just basically asked it to create some function for us and help us manage state. So let's go ahead and close this and let's continue to iterate. Yes, thank you. And the command to run is streamlit run app.py. Okay. And for those of you who might be new to the terminal, you can press up to go to any old comments. I'm sorry, old commands that you might have added in the terminal. Okay, so here we're in agent mode, and so now we're going to continue on in agent mode to continue to add our UI now. So let's go ahead and do that. hopping back into agent mode. And I honestly use agent mode the most for most things, because like I'm usually clicking something or quickly fixing something, you know, editing demos, refactoring demos, and yeah, it's probably been like the one that it's been really helpful the most. I normally use ask mode when I have like particular questions about like how I use it initially for like debugging. If I have like questions about like how like my code is behaving or how my app's behaving, I find it's really helpful for that. Okay, so now we are back here in app.py, and GitHub Copilot has only changed one file. And I can see that it added my sidebar for me. So let's go ahead and, yeah, this looks good. Let's just go ahead and keep it, and then let's close Streamlit and then reopen it. Again, I'm just going to press up to recall the last command that I had, which was Streamlit run app.py. And then I'm going to open it up here in the browser. Okay, great. So one thing that I did not do is that I did not save any images of any photo of any clothes. So I'm actually going to go and just find some random images and download them to my computer here. So that's what I'm doing right now. And this will be a good place for us to pause on. And again, yeah, we're on step 3. So if you want to go ahead and try experiment some other prompts, or try the prompts that in the walkthrough, now's a really great time. So I'm gonna go grab like 3 shirts, and then 3 pairs of pants, and like some shoes, and we'll go from there. So let me just save some random images here.
And for context, how are you grabbing these images? How are you grabbing these pants, these shirts, these shoes?
I'm honestly just doing a simple like search, like a browser, like a search. I use DuckDuckGo, but a search to look for images. Here, I'll show you what I'm doing. And just grabbing them off the internet at this point. So let's do that. The run command was streamlit run app.py. Okay, so I'm going to open up here, and I'll just kind of shirts. I just literally look up shirts, and I'm just going to look at some images and just download a couple. Okay, so let's see. This one's a fancy looking shirt. Thank you for stopping by, Vanessa. Appreciate it. Okay, I'm gonna save an image here. So I'll save this to my desktop. That's where everything goes. Best images. I'll save that. Okay, and then I'll save I don't know. I was looking for shirts without people in it, because I feel like it's easier to cycle through. Okay, we'll just take this other random shirt. And then one final shirt. Okay. And then I'll grab some shoes. All right, let's pick, I don't know, these. All right. And then we'll pick some nice fancy shoes, I guess. Okay, and then, oh, there's some nice fancy, other fancy shoes here. There we go, it's cold. Those look like baby shoes, but we'll take it. I'll allow it. Okay, and then finally some pants. Let's see, some jeans. Okay. And then maybe some slacks. Let's see. Okay. Okay, save. I can't save this image. Save it as, okay. And then, all right, one more pair of pants. These look, I don't know what those are. Let's save this image. Okay. All right. So I got my 9 images, or my 9 images, and so I'm gonna go ahead and see what happens when I upload them. So I'm gonna go to my downloads, my desktop, and then so I can see that I have a category here to select my tops. So I'm gonna go ahead and only upload tops. Okay, and then we can see my tops are in there. And this actually looks pretty sleek. This is really nice. And then let's go ahead and add our bottoms. So pants. Okay. Oh, we see, I have a little bug here. I don't know if y'all see this. So when I added the 3 shirts, and they got added again when I added the pants in there. You can see I have like 2 of these shirts. I'm gonna actually delete one to see what happens. And I guess the delete functionality is not quite there yet. Oh, that's there. Okay, great. And this is why it's really key to, you know, when Copilot generates and creates code for you, to make sure to validate and make sure that, you know, it has like the desired effect that you're looking for. Okay. So I'll go ahead and so essentially what's happening here is that I have to like exit. I have to close out these images here, or kind of close out the images I uploaded, so that like my data doesn't get dirty with stuff that is not actually considered, there we go, not considered pants or shoes. So you can see that like I have these shirts that are defined as bottoms now, right? Which is kind of, yeah, those jeans are cool. These one of the stripes on the side, yeah, I like those. Yeah, so I have, oh gosh. In fact, I actually have a really, really bad bug. Look how many images got added here. Look at this. So I have, this is a lot more than I actually tried to upload. Yeah, we had bulk delete feature 1000%. Okay, so the same bug. Nice. Okay, so let's see. So let's look at the next step here in our walkthrough. We could go ahead and move on to edit and ask mode if we wanted to. We could you know, add, so these instructions are adding a little bit more. But I think at this point we have an idea of like how agent mode and ask mode kind of work. Ask mode doesn't write anything for you, but you can copy and paste, and agent mode or edit mode will write the code for you, and you can, you know, validate and check and see what's going on. So I also have a third exercise here that we'll probably do so you have a little bit a better idea of debugging. But I think, let's kind of take the beaten path here and see if I can fix this bug that I have here. So the way that I really like have a conversation with the chat app. So let's say that, like, how can I describe it? So the app, let's see, when a image is uploaded, any or prior images from prior uploads are added again. Let's see what Copilot has to say about that. And you can see that it's thinking, okay, so the file uploader retrains previously uploaded files, so they'll get processed again. Okay. Okay, so let's keep these changes and let's see if I can see if these are fixed. Okay. I'm also going to share with you a command that you can use so you don't have to keep shutting down the Streamlit server in a moment here. But let's see. Let's test this out first, though. Oh, okay. Let's see. If I'm going to add one top here. Okay. And then I'm going to add some bottoms here. Oops. Yeah. Bottoms. Let's see what happens. I have so many items in here and now I can't even keep track. I feel like, let's see. Let's go into our wardrobe folder and let's see. It's kind of a big file, but let's see if we can make some edits. Okay, you know what? In fact, let's do this. Let's go ahead and delete. I'm going to delete this wardrobe file because it's a really large file at this point. I have a feeling that it's probably saving the image name. Oh, there we go. Okay, let's go ahead and, yeah, I can see why these files are so large. Okay, let's go ahead and delete. I'm going to go ahead and just delete it, and let's start from the top again. Okay, and let's see. I don't think I'll need to. I don't think I'll need to restart the app. Let's see. Okay, yes, it's all empty now. Okay, so let's again test. I'm going to add my one shirt, and then I'm going to add some bottoms. Let's see what happens. Okay, nice. Okay, but now we have this weird thing where we have a same weird state thing where I have these past images here in my image upload history, which is kind of nice, but it's not really helpful for me because I'm confused on what's going to happen if I upload another image, right? So if someone else is using this, they would be like, okay, why are these images still here? So let's see if we can ask Copilot to let's clear out the upload list after a image is uploaded. Let's see. Okay. So it looks like it had like a little tiny change. So let's go ahead and see if that works. And before I continue on, let me go ahead and take a look at how, I think I have instructions here on how to run this app without having to, okay, yes. So in the README of this starter app, you can go to step 5 and go to copy the Streamlit run app server on save true setting here, and that'll just let you it'll just auto reload whenever there's a change. So I'm going to go ahead and start using that. Okay. And now this will be in the browser, and now I can continue to just iterate over my changes. Okay, so did we test out? Let's go ahead and test out, make sure that whenever I upload an image now, let's go ahead and upload my shoes. Okay. But for some reason, it still is not clearing the image after it's already uploaded. Okay, so it's going to take a little bit more debugging there, but we won't dwell on that too much. But let's see, what else do we want to do? Let's say that I also want, let's see, what else could we, give me some suggestions here on some other things that we could add.
What about some accessories? We got to accessorize.
Okay, an accessory section. So, okay, so
a watch or something. Oh, outerwear, that's good. But also outerwear, belts.
Outerwear, belts. Okay, okay. Okay, so let's go ahead and add a oh, there's also the recommendation for the bulk delete feature, but let's go ahead and add a new category first. So let's say that we're going to add yeah, thanks to everyone for these ideas. So let's go ahead and add outerwear. So so let's say I want to go and say that I want to go ahead and actually make this change myself. I suspect that it's kind of this little drop down here, just like this, based on whatever this drop down here is, whatever I select and whatever I upload gets tagged with that category. So that's my hunch. But let's go ahead and thankfully we only have one page that we're working with here. So let's go ahead and go into ask mode and just say, where can I add a new category? Okay, so, and it shows me where it is. It's the categories variable or list here, and I can go ahead and add outerwear. And in fact, you saw Copilot kind of also make some other suggestions for categories. So I'll go ahead, I'll allow it, I'll keep it. And now with my Streamlit setting, I should just be able to refresh the page, and I can see all my new categories here. Okay. So one final thing is I will add a bulk delete feature, and then we'll and I'll show you kind of some other things that you can do with GitHub Copilot, since we're already almost at time. Time really flies when you're coding. Okay. Oh, and also add some additional suggestions on adding colors. Okay. So in agent mode, I'm going to say provide a bulk delete feature, allow me to delete by category. Okay. Okay, so, all right. All right, so we'll go ahead and keep that and see what our changes are now. Okay. Oh, nice. Okay, so let's say I have a bunch of, I think, more than 2 pairs of shoes up in here. I don't. Okay, let's see if I can let's delete all the tops. Oh, nice. And also it adds a confirmation that's really nice and intuitive. Okay. And my tops, I deleted the tops, but they're still there. Let's see if I refresh the page if it's still there. Okay. So they're still there. So that would require a little bit more debugging and some more iteration. But at this point, I could add more where I could, have it cycle through, put together random outfits for me. And I think I think in the workshop I have some more like prompts there you can try to add more on it. But as you can see, like I was just asking in plain natural language, and GitHub Copilot was pretty intuitive in understanding what I'm looking for. And in my case, maybe I could have been a little bit more detailed on some of the functionality, and that will actually also help Copilot build out exactly what you're looking for. So being specific as possible never hurts. Okay, so last thing I'm going to show you before we close out and I open up for Q&A is let's go ahead and open up some buggy code here. So I'm going to copy this code here, and I'm going to create a file called buggy_save.py. So let's go ahead, open this up in new file, buggy save.py. Okay. Now I'm going ahead and we're just going to go ahead and run this. It looks like it's so this is like a piece of, this is an example of like kind of some old of like our app, right? It's like some component of our app. So let's go ahead and let's diagnose and see kind of what some issues are here. So let me go to my notes here. Let's go, oh, wrong place. Let's go ahead and just run the file, and then we will let's go ahead and just keep that. And let's go ahead and hop into close Streamlit, and then we'll go ahead and run this app or this file independently. Python buggy save.py. Okay, and you can see that if I look here, it added outfit. This shows my number of favorites, but my saved favorites is 0. So my my favorites list is not persisting. It's not being saved properly. So at this point, I could ask something along the lines of walk through the favorite function set. Let's go through here. Let's go in ask mode and identify why data isn't being saved. So this is if like you want to go ahead and like check and see where the issue is. So let's go ahead and ask it, and you can see the fix here. So add a missing function call at the end of add favorites. So I can go do that, and now my code should. Okay, let's just double check, see if our, and there we are. And so now our saved favorites are there. Great, beautiful. Okay, let's see, what else could I do here? Let me see what else is in the walkthrough. So let's say that I want to add some additional fixes here. let's go ahead and we're gonna open this in edit mode so you can kind of see some of the shortcuts that I was talking about that you can also do. So I'm gonna hop into here. I'm gonna go to my add favorites. Was that in the instructions here? Just make sure I'm in the right spot. Go select the add favorite function, and then we'll do Control I, and you can see that opens up a little menu or window here. I'm going to paste in this fix, and then we'll go ahead and just run it. We already fixed this, but it just applies the same fix, and I can select keep. And everything should still work the same. Okay. All right. So as you can see, there's a bunch of different things, and we only really scratched the surface of the things that we were able to do today in GitHub Copilot. As you can see, like that workshop is very large and extensive. I recommend, if you want to really dig into some more details of how to really leverage GitHub Copilot, you can go ahead and continue through the workshop. The workshop is going to be up there for as long as possible. And like I said, you also are able to use Copilot, for free. So you have, it's pretty generous. Also, GitHub Codespaces is also free, and that's how we're able to use it in the browser. It's also free to a certain extent. You can always go to your account settings to check and see what your usage is. Let's see, what else? If you want, so yeah, I would recommend going through the workshop. I know we kind of went off the beaten path. I just got too excited and wanted to just try and go off the top of my head to see what we could build. But as you can see, we're almost pretty close to the end of the app. And I'll kind of show you what the final version would look like. At least it's the one that I created when I was running through the workshop and trying to build this myself. So I'll just paste it in here so you can see what that looks like. You'll also notice that in that workshop, site, that there is instructions on just hoping the right, here we go. That there is instructions on or just more additional documentation on GitHub Copilot and all the other things that you can do with it. So if you want to read the docs and check out the videos also, like the Visual Studio Code and the GitHub team has like really great content that you can check out as well. So let's run Streamlit one more time just to see like what my final version was. Let's see if we can. There we go. And then I'll go ahead and add some files here. I'll add this top here and I'll add that to the wardrobe. And you can see mine's a little different. And let's go ahead and I'm gonna close these off because I think I also still have that same bug that everyone else had. Okay, and I'll add this to my shoes, add this to wardrobe, and then I'll add some bottoms. And okay, and then let's see if I can generate a random outfit. Okay, great. And then I guess maybe I didn't add my favorites here, or I didn't finish my favorites page here. But that would just be a couple more prompts that I could just iterate over and get started with. Okay, so that is pretty much everything that I want to cover. Like I said, check out the the workshop to get more detailed instructions. Check out the resources. There's a bunch of resources available out there, and check out some of the awesome creators on YouTube to learn a little bit more. Thank you all so much, and I'll open it up for any Q&A if we still have some time.
Absolutely. First of all, thank you to Jasmine. Jasmine Greenaway is an amazing software engineer. And if you guys even noticed with her official prototype that she's demoing, that's some really concise code. That was like less than 200 lines. So like she's a bit of a boss for that too, because this UI is not bad at all. And we see how, you know, she's really able to add favorites, to add those different features. So definitely use the resources that she shared. She took the time to create that supplement for you guys to really step through all of the different opportunities that you have. And if you can, maybe build on it, maybe add some additional features that she didn't give you the direction to, but then bring it back to her and show her how you're like leveraging these resources. It's really awesome. I want to create some space for any questions that we have left, because you guys had some great questions on the way in. And then also, if anyone still needs a little support troubleshooting, maybe we can make some space for that too. Thank you so much. You have all the praises in the chat. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thanks, y'all.
Any questions for Jasmine? And even if it's just about like the career path itself, if you guys are curious around that too, it may not even need to be about the application as you guys are still building on your own versions, if that makes sense. Feel free to come off mic if you'd like to ask it yourself too. It's all good. Oh, okay. So we have Hafsa, definitely. You're raising your hand if you want to come off mic or if you want to ask a question, we'd love you to.
Okay, sure. Thank you. Thank you, Adrienne. Hi, Jasmine. I wanted to get your insights on what you think is a limitation when it comes to using Copilot. So for example, when I use Claude Code, I need to explicitly tell it every time to when testing, or keep in mind to make sure that it's in line with what we have decided and initially. So what do you think is the biggest limitation when it comes to Copilot, in your opinion?
I think to me it's usage. So in terms of having clear prompts and also enough context, and whether that be additional toolings or things like that, I think that's kind of the biggest limitation in terms of usage. Honestly, I can't think of anything outside of that, because GitHub Copilot has really had really monumental change and really quick turnaround development cycles. It's always actively in development. And I think that for me as a dev, like, it's been really enlightening and really helpful and really assistive in me as well. But I think that also the other thing, the other big loophole, and I kind of mentioned this a little earlier, is that you have to be sure that you're checking the code, or checking what the code is doing and verifying the code before you like put in production, or do anything where people are going to be consuming it or using it, because that's kind of where I see the biggest pain point, is that not verifying what any AI or any LLM has done can really get you into a sticky situation. So those are I'm sorry that not a clear answer, but I think that at this point it really comes down to the context in terms of prompt and information that you give your Copilot.
Awesome. We have one more question too. It's actually from Zaria, and she's asking, I want to get into developer relations. I'm a newer engineer, but I've been building my own platform myself technically. What advice would you give to anyone who wants to become a developer advocate?
Yes. This is a really great question. I think that I would say find items or tools that you are a big fan of. So if you're someone who's trying to break into a role as a developer advocate, find find a product that you are, I wouldn't say like maybe obsessed with, but just really into. So for example, for me, that is GitHub Classroom. So like I think I mentioned I teach part-time, and GitHub Classroom platform allows you to grade in a nice workflow. And so I really like GitHub Classroom for that. So much so that I have forked my own copy of it because it's open source and made some fixes that I haven't merged yet because I think it's still a little buggy. But like I loved it so much that I actually learned a little bit of Go to try and contribute to it and make it better. So I would say, yeah, and like even if like it's like not a tool, like say that you're looking to find a role in DevRel and like it's the tool that you might be really into or might be contributing to is not related, that's totally fine. What I love about being in developer relations is that we kind of are like developer zero for like anything new that's coming out. And so I think that gives us a lot of leeway to be exploratory. And that's one of the things I really love about DevRel is being exploratory. And it also gives us the ability to kind of be a chameleon into other different technical territories. So for example, like, with my example in databases, I can, there's lots of things to talk about. There's, of course, the AI stuff, vector search, but there's infrastructure, all these other things that I can talk about. And so if I'm ready to like expand into something else, like I can find like kind of like something adjacent. So yeah, I hope that was a good answer. But yeah, just find tools that you really love.
And Zaya said, thank you. That answered her question perfectly.
Thank
I know
you.
that we are just arriving at time, so we did great on time. You guys are amazing. And what I'm also hearing with that is it's about evangelism. Like, what is the thing that you love? What is the thing that, like, honestly, no one even has to pay you to talk about? And Zaria, there's a couple of things that I feel like really align like that for you. That's the things that you evangelize. And that's kind of a way that you can get people's attention, especially that platform or those different tools' attention. And the fact that like you're on their team, you're a cheerleader, you want to be a super user, a power user, super user do pseudo, making a joke. But anyway, in that aspect, I feel like that's also a really strong pathway. Thank you. Somebody got it. That's really a strong pathway to get the platform's attention and to signal to them in that virtue of like, they really want to get along with you. They want you on their team. They want to support you. So this has been an amazing workshop. And we're honestly excited to have you guys apply these skills as well for our hackathon that's going to be coming up soon. You'll have an idea, our ideathon itself, which is going to be starting next week, where you can start ideating around the skills that you're learning and how you want to apply them and come up with solutions that can create impact within our community. So thank you guys all again for joining us. Thank you, Jasmine Greenaway, for all of your excellence, especially during Black History Month. We need all of the Black girl excellence. So thank you guys again, and we're going to wrap it up now. Until next time.
Thanks all. Bye.